This week I want to get into kind of the nuts and bolts, into the weeds of living in Madeira, because I think it's kind of important. Not usually what we do. We try to stay away from it for a few reasons. We think it's a pretty good subject, particularly for this week. We've lived here for more than a year now, and the first year, the first few months at least, was a struggle because of the fact that we just weren't used to the way things are done on this island. You know, we had to get a family reunification visa. Patty needed a health card. We needed everything done. Plus we had, we were going through buying a house and stuff like that. And we just weren't used to the way things are done. And now that we're a year in, we've kind of noticed things and we've gotten better. We can't complain too much about Madeiran bureaucracy or Portuguese bureaucracy, because we've heard it's a lot worse in a lot of countries. And things get done. Not only that, but you do get a sense that everybody is trying to help you, which is certainly different than even the United States. They are legitimately compassionate and helpful individuals who work for the government in Madeira, and we really, really do love them. But you really do have to cross all the T's and dot all of the I's. You have to follow all the steps, and that was kind of brought to the forefront this past week with a few things that we did. On Thursday, our objective was to go to the Loja de Cidadão, otherwise known as the Citizen Store, in downtown Funchal, to take care of a very pressing matter, which was turning in Patty's American driver's license and getting a Portuguese driver's license. As a foreigner, it's way simpler to do this before you turn 60, and Patty is turning 60 later this month, so big priority. While she was waiting in line at the driver's license area, I went over to the electricity department for Madeira. The reason I had to cut off the electricity, or at least no longer pay bills for the electricity for the Funchal apartment we moved out in late September. This bill gets automatically deducted from our bank account each month. And I thought that was the case with our new Canhas house, but it wasn't. In fact, our electricity bill for our new house was about 8 months delinquent, and believe it or not, it was scheduled to be cut off that day. So I quickly paid it, and things are okay now. So how did this happen? Well, classic Portuguese bureaucracy. Say what you want with it, about it, good or bad, it's just the way Portuguese bureaucracy works. I thought I had signed up for my electricity bill being automatically deducted from my bank account each month, and in fact I had. The problem was they had sent me an email after I signed up confirming that I wanted to do that, and I didn't see it. And because of that, they just continued issuing the bills, and it was never automatically deducted from my bank account. This actually tracks from my previous experience when I tried to change my address the first time. And when I did that, I actually went to the Junta de Freguesia, the city hall, and changed the address. I didn't realize they were going to send me a postcard asking me to bring that postcard in to the City Hall again to absolutely confirm that I wanted to change the address. Completely legitimate, and I don't blame them. You know, double verification, double identification, making double sure. But it's just an example of how Portuguese bureaucracy really wants to get things done correctly. Patty couldn't get her driver's license exchange at the Loja de Cidadão because their computer system was down. Actually, that's pretty rare in Portugal. And we had to go to the transportation department, which is near the Anadia shopping center, about a half-mile away or so. The night before, Patty had really sweated it out to make sure that she had gotten everything that was needed. Downloading the certified driving record from our old state, the state of Michigan, making sure she had the residency card packed with her, and even bringing her letter certifying her change of address to Canhas, just in case she needed it. We arrived at the transportation department, took a ticket, and waited and waited and waited. There were quite a few people ahead of us. In fact, we pretty much quickly surmised that 75 to 80% of the people waiting at the transportation department were doing exactly what Patty was about to do. Another thing I observed is that there were 7, 8, 9 different people working in the office, and yet only one person was working on this particular kind of thing, which was exchanging foreign driver's licenses. We arrived at 10:30, and by 12:30, still quite a few people ahead of us, because the man handling all these applications not only had to review all the information that people brought in, but he had to type in all the information that was brought in. 12:30 was when the office was supposed to close for lunch, Portuguese style, but it did remain open, and yet every employee we saw just trooped out to lunch, except for the one guy handling all of the application like Patty's. By the time it was Patty's turn, it was well past 1 o'clock. The man who wound up helping us actually couldn't have been nicer. In fact, one of the first things he did was apologize to Patty for the long wait. He said even worse problems at the transportation department in Lisbon had caused a lot of people to fly from Lisbon to Madeira because it was a better situation in Madeira. Better situation relative to what? But better situation in Madeira. And that was the reason why this office was so overwhelmed and why this guy himself was so overwhelmed. In the end, everything worked out. Patty walked out of the office with a 2-month provisional driver's license, because it will take at least that long for a new driver's license to be processed and mailed out to our house. The lesson learned from our experience last week is that in Portugal and Madeira, we have to, have infinite patience, because things do take long. They get done, but they take long. Another lesson, because you're going to wait for so long, because it's going to be such a long process, make sure you have everything you need, and double check it if you need. There's nothing more frustrating than going into a line and waiting for hours, and then, oh, you forgot to bring us that. Don't make that mistake. Lastly, keep your eye out for any kind of follow-up. We're pretty sure we're not going to have that happen with this particular thing of Patty exchanging a driver's license, because I went through it a few months ago. It was pretty straightforward. It took a while for me to actually get the license, but there was no follow-up needed. But otherwise, yeah, you wind up sometimes with a 8-month delinquent electricity bill in your house. It's electricity being turned off. Above all, be kind to those who are helping you, because they will help you. They are going to do everything they can to help you, and they will do it. It's just going to take a little effort.